Skriath is an intelligence-based mage from the Mauler faction, and in today's video we're going to check out his skills and abilities, his teams and uses, and whether it's worth investing in this hero, so let's get into it. His ultimate ability, Desert Vortex, summons a vortex in the middle of the enemy formation, which continuously swirls enemies around and drags them towards its center, whilst also dealing damage to those enemies caught inside the vortex. His next ability, Death from Above, basically just summons some rocks to fall on an enemy's head that will also deal splash AoE damage to nearby enemies. For his next ability, Sandstorm, he will create a sandstorm that can last up to 15 seconds, and it covers the whole field as a weather effect, and any enemies caught inside the sandstorm will lose accuracy, haste, and also Skriath will deal extra damage to his enemies whilst the sandstorm persists. And finally, we have his passive Critical Insight. This ability is going to increase his allies' crit rating throughout the battle, and they'll get more crit the longer the battle goes on. Activating Skriath's signature item, Boulder Blast, will give him the ability that whenever he deals a critical strike to an enemy, it will drop rocks on them that deals AoE damage. Now, this can only be used on the same target once every 3 seconds. And if you level it up to level 30, during his sandstorm, any enemies caught inside that sandstorm will be dealt damage equal to 2% of their current health every second, ignoring all defense ratings. Now for his furniture, Desert Trap. At level 3, it's going to cause at the start of the battle, the enemies at the top and bottom of the battlefield to be pushed in towards the middle. And at level 9, it adds the effect to his sandstorm of increasing the movement speed of his allies whilst decreasing the movement speed of his enemies. Skriath can be used in a wide variety of teams. His 3 furniture, especially which groups the enemies up, can complement a lot of heroes. Any hero with a short radius AoE damage or control ability is going to gain benefit from this because it means their AoE is going to be hitting more of the enemies because of Skriath's ability to drag them together. However, the main team that he really excels in and the most meta team that he is seen in the late game is going to be the 5-pull team, which makes use of his 3 furniture ability and Iron so that you can drag all 5 enemies into the Iron and group them up for some nice AoE damage. The great thing about the 5-pull team is that it has the 2 core members of a Skriath with 3 furniture and an Iron. And after that, there is a lot of freedom and creativity that you can go to in your remaining choices. What you really want to be looking for in your final 3 positions are things that are going to deal AoE CC and AoE damage. On top of that, you can go for some healing if need be, but CC and damage is what makes up the core of this team because all the enemies are going to be grouped together, which makes it really easy to control the team. For control, we have heroes like Gorvo, Pippa, and Titus. For damage, you can bring Sophia, who has the added effect of being able to increase your team's damage and reduce the enemy's team damage. Or you can bring something like Soros, who not only has damage, also has control and healing tied into his abilities. And for added utility options, you can bring Leica for the haste, which is valuable in so many teams. You can bring Lawson to link damage between the enemies, a Rowan for his healing potions and energy potion, a Brutus to be immune to damage for a period of time, or something like a Wukong to be able to get damage through his clones but also slow the enemies with his staff. For this example, we're going to look at a fairly balanced 5-pull team using Skriath, Iron, Sophia, Gorvo, and Titus. Sophia is not only bringing damage, but that pyramid which is vital in survival and also damage dealing capacity for your team. Then we have Gorvo, who's going to jump up at the start of the battle and shell shock down on the enemies, dealing some AoE damage, but more importantly, stunning them. After that, we have Titus, who's going to run through the enemies, dealing some really nice damage, but also control them with his short range AoE Fear, which gets enhanced because the enemies are so close together. Then obviously we have Iron for the damage as well. With his incredible burst capabilities, he's there not only to drag the enemies in, but also to deal that damage, and when he ults, he's also going to freeze them. And then we have obviously the core member of the team in the Skriath, where this wouldn't be possible without his 3 furniture, because he is squishing that top and bottom enemy in, allowing Iron to grab all of them and allowing all the synergies to happen. When deciding on an artifact for Skriath, it's not a crucial decision. He can pretty much use any artifact that you want, and you can test different artifacts in different battles to see the effect. The fact that his main purpose is to group those enemies up at the start of the battle means that as soon as he comes into the battle, his job is essentially done. If he survives, it's fantastic, but it's the job of the rest of the team to actually win the rest of the battle. Now, with all that out of the way, is it worth investing in Skriath? There's two ways you can look at it. The minimum investment that you want to use on Skriath is to get him ascended and give him 3 furniture. His 3 furniture is what really makes him useful in so many teams, being able to group those enemies up to allow shorter radius AoE damage dealers and controllers to hit the whole enemy team. Now, if you want to go further than that, you can get him up to 30 signature item, which is going to be really nice in slower stall-based teams because he's going to deal that damage 2% of the enemy's current HP every second. However, in the 5-pool team, it's not that required because it's more of a burst composition and doesn't require that steady damage. So the optimal investment to aim for is that ascended with 3 furniture, and anything else is just a bonus. So that is going to be it for Skriath, a very unique and valuable hero in the game, and definitely one to put on your furniture wish list from the start of the game and get up to that 3 furniture, because as soon as you get him ascended, you're going to find a use for him. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have an awesome day, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Cheers.